Welcome to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap, the season of self-love series. I'm your host, Nyomi Banks, and in this empowering series, we delve into the transformative journey of self-love and explore the various facets of personal growth, mindfulness, and self-care. Each Tuesday, we'll bring you inspiring conversations with experts, real-life stories, and practical tips on how to nurture and embrace self-love in your own life. So get ready to embark on this incredible journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Hey, all right, so this will be our second week of the season of self-love series here, and I am truly excited. I am excited about this topic that we're speaking on today. Well, I'm speaking on today, and it's called the power of affirmation, how positive self-talk can boost your self-love. I cannot stress how important this is in changing your mindset, changing the thoughts and pattern that you pick up from other people. Through a 30-day challenge that I've been doing for the past few months, I did it last month and now I'm doing it again here in October. This is one of the first things I did. One of the first days that I challenged them to say something good about yourself. What are 3 things that you can say that you love about yourself, that encourage you, those things? And as I said before, it was amazing at how many people spoke and were very open about their 3 things, and not what somebody else said about them, but what they feel about themselves. And why I'm saying this today is because usually a lot of times is that the way that we feel about ourselves is usually comes secondhand for what others say about us. We pick that up, and I'm not going to say from birth. We pick that up when we start to understand different words and different actions and different meanings in those words. And we tend to put those on us as clothing on our bodies, as a part of us, a part of our makeup. And so as I got older in life, I can be honest, I allowed a lot of those words to be a part of me, to be a part of my makeup, to be the clothing that I wore daily. And I couldn't understand why that was like that. But probably in the past 10 years, I truly realized it's because those very people that loved me did not love themselves. They did not know how to give positive affirmations to others because they never used those affirmations for themselves. Never. But this is the thing is, as a little girl, I've always used affirmation and not know who there was. Not knew what one of them was. I remember as a young girl, I remember my dad telling me that I had the big head, because I used to think so highly of myself, meaning that I used to say words like, I'm going to change the world. I'm a winner. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be this. And by me saying those things and speaking those things and really acting as if that's what I was, I tend to shake those that didn't believe in themselves or hadn't seen anything different. Mind you, no, I didn't see anything different, but I knew there was something different in my life. But back then, I did not know that those were words of affirmation that I was speaking into myself. Because while I was speaking those words of affirmation into myself, there were others that were speaking words that was very discouraging to me. I wasn't good enough. You too dark. Your nose too big. You act just like your daddy. You know, like those words that could compare you to different people. All of those things. And even though I used to work hard to prove all of those things wrong, it still didn't sit right with me, meaning that as I grew older, those very words were a part of my blockage. Even though I work hard to defy everything that someone said about me that was a negative or a bad thing, that still was a part of my blockage. Because even though I said those words, even as a young adult, even as, when I moved to California, I used to say, I am a multi-billion-dollar industry walking around here. I am a multi-million-dollar industry walking around here. And I remember I met with this guy, this man in LA. I flew to LA, met with him, and that was our conversation. And he asked, what was my worth? I said, I'm a multi-million-dollar company walking around here. I said, I exude with so much talent. I say, I'm a writer, I'm a producer, I'm a director, I'm an actress, I'm a model, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer. I'm intelligent. My drive is just amazing. Like I knew what I had. And this man was like, oh, you too full of yourself. You need to be more humble. That's not going to work here in Hollywood. That's not going to work here. And I'm looking at him like, excuse me? Then he looked at my resume of things. And at that moment, it's like literally he tried to tear me down. Oh, you did this. Oh, you was in a music video. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, they're probably going to, typecast you in this. Like he was literally picking it apart. Mind you, I've done a lot of things across the board. And what that did for me, no lie, it just brought up old things that people said, old things. And, it was like, wow, do I really have the big head? And it's so ironic that I'm speaking of this today because today is my father's birthday. Rest in heaven, Daddy. But today is my father's birthday. And that is something he used to say to me all the time, that I had a big head because I was so very confident in myself. So very confident in myself. I mean, I didn't have any older brothers or sisters. I am the oldest. And so it was me and my sister at that time. And so one thing is that my mom did instill in me that she didn't want me to depend on anybody. And so in that teaching of me not depending on anybody, I knew there was things that I had to learn myself. Those are things that I had to teach myself and my sister. I knew I didn't have no brothers to fight out there with me, when we out there playing, so I had to be that. But like I said earlier, that is where I learned to say the affirmations to myself, not knowing what those affirmations meant. When I used to say I wanted to change the world, matter of fact, I said I am going to change the world. I remember my mom having this little old typewriter. And I remember I used to go, I'm going to be a star. And the thing is that my sister used to watch me do that. And she used to do that. We're 5 years apart. She used to do that. I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be that. Mind you, no one told us that. So as I'm sitting here right now, and even when I'm talking about the power affirmation on how positive self-talk can boost your self-love, did it boost our self-love? I think in that moment of time there, in that little moment of time, but still we had outside sources in that moment that we felt that was more powerful than us. You have adults that say they love you, that tell you that you're not good enough. I'm good with you need to do better. I'm good with that. but you're not good enough, or you're going to be just like someone who's not doing too well because you choose not to speak or say the way that they want you to speak or say. And so when I got older and I started to truly know what affirmation is, and I truly learned why it's important for affirmations. But first, let me say, whoever doesn't know what an affirmation is when you speak an affirmation that's already happening. This helps you believe that the statement is true right now. For instance, I am well prepared and well rehearsed. I give a great presentation. So meaning that you would say positive words of speaking of yourself. Things that you are going to do at the moment right now to change your mindset. I actually created a coloring book of affirmations called Color for My Soul. A great coloring book. It was the very first one that I did. I have not published it as of yet, but I'm thinking about doing it in a few weeks, in the few weeks before the year is out. There is a course that I do have, and I'm going to release it. I did it last month, but I said I was going to do it again, and I think I probably won't do it until the end of the year. I want to kind of, do this out, do this series out before I bring the class in. But in that class, we talk about the use of affirmation or how to use it correctly. I know that's a big thing that's going around that everybody say, I am. I am is the root. I am. But I use it a little differently. And I learned this watching TikTok probably earlier this year. It's by using your chakras, all 7 of your chakras. And I usually do my affirmation through there. But in the beginning, I used to say, I am, I will, I can. Those very, excuse my language, but those very generic type of ways. Did it help me? Yes, it did. It sure did. But I started to put other words with it. I started to make it to where it was real. It was real. Okay, so let me go back first because I'm talking about chakras and did not tell you what chakras was. Were. So chakras I believe to be energy that centers within the middle, within the human body. It's this corresponds to this different physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of our body. So it's that down your spinal cord from your head down to your base, to, where your gut right there at the bottom. You know exactly where that's at. And it's more, it comes from a Sanskrit and it means wheel or disc. So it says representing the spinning energy centers. And so what I want to do first is I'm going to tell you what each one of those mean. And if you have a piece of paper, I would love for you to write it down. Matter of fact, if you can stand in front of a mirror and just touch these different parts, and I would like you to repeat after me. All right, so the root chakra is located at the base of the spine. This chakra represents a sense of stability, security, and survival instinct. And when you're speaking of that, what words to use for that chakra? That is I am. So that's the core, that's your foundation, that's your base. That's where it's stabled at. All right, now we're going to go just a little bit further. Just it's positioned right below the navel. So it's like right there at the gut. All right, this is called the sacral chakra. This chakra is associated with creativity, sexuality, and emotional well-being. So when you get that gut feeling, that's what it is. And the affirmation for that is, I feel. The next one, remember we're going from the root, the base, up. The next one is the solar plexus chakra. And that is located in the upper abdomen. This chakra governs our self-esteem, our confidence, and our personal power. So this is that help you, when your chest is out. That's how I feel about it. When your chest is out, and you're very proud of yourself, because I did that. That I did that from. No, I'm just going somewhere else with it, but that is I do. That's the affirmation for that. I do. Then we have the heart chakra. And this is situated in the center of your chest. And this chakra is connected to love, compassion, and emotional balance. And the affirmation for that is, I love. And then you put whatever you love behind that. And our next one is our throat chakra. It's located in the throat area. And this chakra is associated with communication, self-expression, and speaking one's truth, And so when you think about that and you think about doing your affirmation and balancing, you want to make sure that you give yourself a voice, even when you're speaking to yourself. And you speak it out loud. Because when you speak it with words, it gives it power. And that affirmation for that is, I speak. And our next one is the third eye chakra. Yes, the third eye chakra. I remember back in the day, my grandmother used to tell me all the time, make sure that third eye is open. Never knew what it meant. Never knew what it meant. But she spoke and said it to me like I knew what it meant. I never knew what it meant. Until as I got older. And when I say seriously, it's like they make it look so demonic, the third eye. But that third eye is your intuition. That's what that is. And that's positioned between your eyebrows. This chakra is linked to your intuition, clarity, and insight. So when you begin to say your affirmations and you use that third eye chakra, you will use the words, I see. Okay, and the last one. This last one is called the crown chakra. And that's right there on the top of your head, right in the middle of your skull. It's located at the top of your head, and this chakra represents our connection to higher consciousness, spirituality, and divine wisdom. For me, I've had a lot of blockage there. A lot of blockage there. And usually my prayer is always to remove the blockage that was caused by past trauma or past fear. And past trauma doesn't always have to be something just so bad. It can be done in words. The people can speak to you in words and just tear your soul apart. And when speaking of affirmation using our crown chakra, is I know or I understand. So when I look in the mirror and I speak the positive things for me, for myself, I break it down like this. I say, I am a phenomenal goddess. I feel phenomenal in everything that I do. I do phenomenal things to encourage and inspire the world to change in a positive way. I love to be surrounded by phenomenal people that are like-minded as me. I speak words of encouragement and positivity into myself and into others. I see a phenomenal amount of abundance and prosperity for myself and for others. And I know and I understand that for me to continue to be this phenomenal being, goddess and queen that I am, I have to be phenomenal through my pure soul. And that's just using the word phenomenal. You can do those with any different words. And I kind of break it down. I use phenomenal. I use good. I use kind. I use different kind of words of adjectives to describe who I am. But I break it all the way down. And it helps me to balance it all out. So if you take a little time in the morning, once you wash your face, you brush your teeth, and you say those beautiful affirmations to yourself, you pick a word. Maybe those 3 words that I said before, that I talked about last week when I had said about, choosing 3 words that of you or how you describe yourself in a positive way, and use those 3 words as affirmations and go down and through your chakras. And if it helps you in any way, please email me. Please email me and let me know. Leave a comment. But it's important to wake up in the morning and speak positivity into your life. I could go on and talk about the mirror imaging and all of that stuff, but I truly believe that I'm going to make a whole topic of that. But it's so many different ways that you can speak positivity into yourself. But I just wanted to share this little moment of how I do my affirmations and why it's so important for me to do my affirmations. Because I've rewired myself. I've changed my perception of what I perceived of myself. I'm saying the words that will continue to allow me to be in love with myself. I say words that will heighten my intimacy with myself. So my beautiful, sexy people out there, I thank you for joining me today. And I wish you nothing but beautiful, beautiful success in everything that you do. I welcome you to join me again next Tuesday. And have a good one. Thank you for joining us today on the Season of Life series here on Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap. We hope you've gained valuable insights and inspiration to cultivate self-love in your life. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday for more thought-provoking discussions and expert advice on nurturing a positive relationship with yourself. Remember, self-love is not selfish, it's essential. Until next time, take care, be kind to yourself, and keep loving who you are. This is Nyomi Banks signing off. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Follow us on social media at Ask Nyomi for updates and exclusive content. See you next week.